Sarper Guven from 90 Day Fiancé is a terrible casting choice for the franchise. Even though he claims to have changed himself since his debut season, Sarper was first seen in The Other Way Season 5 when Shekinah Garner was moving to Turkey for him. Shekinah's friends and family were not supportive of her decision, since Sarper was yet to make their relationship official on social media, and he had a colorful past he was proud of. Shekinah didn't see it as a red flag that Sarper had a notebook filled with names of all the women he'd slept with. One of their most intense arguments happened when Sarper accidentally yanked out Shekinah's hair extensions during a heated exchange. It seemed like that confrontation would end their relationship for good, but they ultimately made up. Sarper is now seeking sympathy for being the one who uprooted his life in Turkey to be with Shekinah. He has managed to deflect much of the criticism he previously faced for his controlling behavior, such as insisting Shekinah maintain a specific weight and altering her appearance to suit his preferences, including her nose. 90 Day Fiancé's Sarper traveled to Montana to meet Shekinah's family with 70 days left on his visa to wed her. Sharia had already met Sarper before, and this was his first time trying to make a good impression on Ziona and Mariah. Sharia expected to see genuine growth in Sarper. She was under the impression that things were changing and evolving with him, but she was skeptical that his actions could back up these changes. She hoped that Sarper was genuine. Sarper told the cameras that he felt like an inmate going to execution. Shekinah's sisters asked him how he was dealing with her triggers. He accused her of being possessive and territorial and claimed that she had never seen him talking to other women and lying about it. Shekinah's sisters didn't trust Sarper and asked her if she went based off his word. Shekinah assured Ziona that relationships were about trust, and she trusted Sarper. "If I had no trust in Sarper, what would be the point of me even being with him?" she asked. Shekinah's sisters knew that she had a habit of seeing just the best in people and continuing to let things slide. Sarper insisted that he was the best partner Shekinah could ever find, since they were also spending time getting to know each other, and that they were trying to find a balance. He mentioned how he saw that her sisters loved Shekinah in their eyes. He mentioned Shekinah telling him about how they were raised. Shekinah interrupted Sarper to add they were homeschooled, lived rural lives, and didn't see people outside of their family every day. Shekinah's sisters were taken aback when Sarper referred to them as Geishas. He tried to explain the remark by saying that Shekinah did everything, including cooking, working, and cleaning, suggesting she played a highly submissive role in their relationship. The sisters were clearly confused by where the conversation was headed. Shekinah stepped in to clarify that Sarper meant she often did things for him without being asked. "And that's like geisha vibes," she said. Sharia, still skeptical, asked, "Does that include him telling you to keep your mouth shut?" referencing a past incident. "Yeah," Shekinah admitted. If Sarper comparing Shekinah to a geisha and asking her sisters if they were also submissive like her was inappropriate, some of the other things he said on the show were even more alarming. During his debut season, Sarper clung tightly to his self-styled bad boy image, frequently emphasizing how he was shedding that persona for Shekinah. Despite being in his 40s, Sarper admitted he had never been in a serious relationship. Just a month before Shekinah relocated to Turkey, he stunned her by claiming he had slept with over 2,500 women. It wasn't something Sarper should have been bragging about to a new partner. When he claimed to have slept with over 2,500 women, Shekinah thought it was a joke or a typo. Maybe he meant 250, which still felt excessive, but something she was willing to overlook. Instead, Sarper clarified the real number was between 2,500 and 3,000. He insisted he had been 110% faithful to Shekinah but criticized her for being too possessive. Despite his history, Sarper repeatedly claimed he had changed for her and was leaving behind his self-proclaimed bad boy image to prove it. Sarper boasted about his past, claiming he used to have sex with 4.5 women in a day, but insisted that was behind him now. Shekinah, he said, was all he thought about. He admitted to having the worst resume on the planet and being with many women, yet claimed he had changed. Despite this, Sarper complained that Shekinah still wanted more from him, even after all his supposed growth. He even suggested he was doing her a favor by not adding her name to his diary, which documented the 3,000 women he'd been with. Not long after Sarper convinced Shekinah's sisters that he could be trusted, he came back home to Los Angeles with her and got into a terrible fight. Shekinah had it all recorded as proof. Shekinah had come home from work and cooked him a meal, only for Sarper to tell her he hated her and that he was leaving. "I really hate this life and I'm going back to my country," Sarper shouted at Shekinah in the audio recording. While Shekinah had made a list of things Sarper told her during the argument, he claimed he hadn't and accused her of lying. Sarper stopped talking to Shekinah and began living like a stranger in her house. He was sleeping on the couch. It was his way of torturing Shekinah according to his convenience. It was happening just because he was in a bad mood. He didn't appreciate the sacrifices Shekinah had made for him. She didn't even have room for her own clothes in her closet. Shekinah was making big adjustments to fit Sarper into her life, but he didn't appreciate it. Sarper knew that Shekinah was not going to leave him. The 90 Day Fiancé star didn't deserve this treatment.